After reaching the coast of Scoresbysound, Greenland, I was surprised by a huge layer of ice, preventing me from reaching the anchorage. Being heavily sleep-deprived, I found the safest choice was to return back to Iceland through a challenging belt of ice.
You see a chain of icebergs.
Into open ocean to get some rest. Along the way, I managed to sprain my ankle.
It's not good.
I spent many days recovering in port, waiting to do a second attempt for Greenland, but the weather gods just wouldn't let me go. I found it best to listen to the signs and start a long way back towards Norway. I had waited for 11 days now in Raufarhöfn, hoping for better weather. To knock off some time, I traveled around to explore Iceland's many waterfalls and canyons. These incredible Icelandic wonders of nature never fails to amaze me, and this occasion was no exception. Eager to get going, the winds finally changed in my favor.
Alright, so I've been shopping some groceries now. The essentials, egg and bacon and chips of course, and apples and yeah. Day 11 in Raufarhöfn, and I have seen on the weather reports now that the winds have turned to Greenland, so the reports are just messing around with me, but that's fine. And it's a very narrow weather window to get back to Faroe Islands now, this way, and it's yeah. So I think we need to set a stopper to this now. It's getting a little bit crazy, and my ankle is not fully healed as well. So going upwind towards Greenland, it's reported upwind now. That's just, it doesn't sit right with me. I think that could cause some more problems because the boat is heeling over, and then I have to bend my ankle in the bad way, and it's not good. So now it's downwind to Faroe Islands, and I think it's much better staying on a leveled out boat, more or less. Hey, how you doing? So I decided to jump on the weather window back to Faroe Islands. So now I'm just filling water, and I will put on the hydrovane rudder, and I will depart from Raufarhöfn to Tórshavn on Faroe Islands. All right, let's go. Nice to meet you. Thank you. Have a nice ride. Alright, so that's Raufarhöfn. 11 days in port, and thank you for your hospitality. But now a new chapter starts to get back home to Norway. It's a long way, it's 900 nautical miles I think from here, and if not longer. But that's just new adventure, new upcoming adventure.
We got the sails set and pointed the course back into the big blue. My plan was to sail all the way to the tip of the everlasting Langanese, then alter the course straight towards Faroe Islands, 360 nautical miles away. My aim with this expedition was to only visit places I've never been, so my destination was set to the little village of Vestmanna on Faroes' west coast. The winds should be favorable most of the way, but my concern was a big low pressure covering the Faroes, giving southeasterly headwinds reaching 35 knots, starting some hours before my planned arrival. I could only hope to be close enough to get shelter from the cliffs before it all set in.
So we are straight downwind, and Langanese is just over here now. Well, not just, it's about 4 hours more to go before we can tilt the course down to Faroe Islands. So it's just to enjoy it, downwind sailing. It is a ridiculously long stretch of land before you get out to the end point out there. So I'm just helping a little bit with the engine now to keep the speed up, because I want to be on Faroe Islands as early as possible, because if I'm a little bit late there will be some heavy winds on the nose. But we are closing in to Langanesa now, and this is the last point of land before we will turn our course towards Faroe Islands, just around the lighthouse there. So yeah, take a look at the great view.
It's quite the journey sailing along the peninsula, stretching 25 nautical miles from the mainland of Iceland. On the far end of this remote flat landscape sits the little Langanesa lighthouse, as the only man-made structure out here. It was like Iceland was waving us goodbye for now, although I had a feeling we would meet again.
Alright, so that was Langanesa. That was a long, very long stretch of land. But now we are actually going this way. That's Faroe Islands, so we need to jibe the sail and start our journey towards the beautiful islands. Let's do it. Finally we're sailing again, full sails, and 2 knots currents with us. We're doing 8 knots now, but I heard rumors about 24-25 knots downwind tonight, so I'm just gonna prepare for that, and maybe I'll take in a reef in the mainsail before it starts, but let's jolly along like this a little bit more.
Let's let Tessie make her way into the vast North Atlantic Ocean while we take a look at the sponsor of this video, NordVPN. I've been lucky enough the past years traveling wide and broad across countries all over the world. In storm and still, I have captured every moment to be shared online. NordVPN has joined me every bit of the way, making sure my online presence has been secured at every moment. When connecting to a new public network, I instantly activate NordVPN and choose one of their 7,361 worldwide servers to connect to. This initially hides my IP address and also gives me access to Nord's many options to keep our online personal data safe. Hackers are getting smarter by the day, figuring out all kinds of ways to steal your information. By changing your virtual location, you can also access your favorite shows or social platforms, which otherwise may not be available in your present country. You can also find good deals on flights, hotels, and other services, as prices are set differently in various countries. Check out nordvpn.com/Erik Aanderaa to get 4 months extra on a 2-year plan. It's risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. Now let's start the passage across the North Atlantic. Hunger was catching up on me, so I made my onboard favorite meal.
I'm no cook, but how's that for a dinner? Really awesome. Haven't been eating since yesterday, it's about time.
The pleasure was short. Suddenly a little dot showed up on the camera.
It's actually a little fishing boat on our bow, and we're closing in. Check that out. Oh, there he is.
As I was now 30 miles offshore, I took my chance to get some rest.
So it's middle of the night now, 12 o'clock midnight, and the wind has picked up to 20 knots. And we are sailing along pretty good, 6 knots. So it's beautiful, and it's so nice to be under sail again, full power. And this is us the next hours, I guess, until well, I think the wind is going to die out a little bit, and then it's going to pick up at the end when we get closer to Faroe Islands. So the wind has picked up as expected, 25 knots now, and I have full mainsail up, and I think the boat is rocking around a little bit, so the waves are probably picking up. So maybe we have to reduce the mainsail a bit, but let's go out and see. That's not too bad. I would like a reef in the mainsail though, but it's 20 to 25, 26 knots now. Yeah, I think I have to reef it. Yeah, let's do that. The boat is behaving much better and we didn't even lose any particular speed. Right, it's still on autopilot. I'm gonna leave it there. Maybe we can deploy the hydro vane if the wind picks up a little bit more, but for now we're good. Let's get this hydro vane going. Good morning, by the way. It's been 25 knots all night, and we still can see the Iceland coast behind us because we are kind of followed along it, but now we are leaving it. It's time to let the hydro vane stir a little bit, give the autopilot some pause. There we go, and a little patent here, tying off the wheel. So I think it's going to blow like this for many hours now, but then it's going to be wind quiet. Look at those big waves. It's only 60 knots of wind, but I think there's some tops of 2-3 meters there, 3.5 meters, and they're really tossing us around. And we're only doing like 4 or 5 knots, so I think the current is going towards the waves. Wow! So we're not doing really much good speed, but I really like to get to Faroe Islands early, because if this goes too slow I will get a lot of headwinds when I get to Faroe Islands, and I wouldn't like that. Let's see. I had to let the autopilot steer again because there's less wind for the hydro vane and 2 big waves, so it was just messing all around. Oh, too far. Okay, so we changed the course a little bit to port to get the wind more on the side, so we're getting a bit off Faroe Islands, but I don't think that has anything to say. We just altered the course later when the wind comes down later tonight. Cool.
I sailed the exact same route in 2022, and I can promise you the North Atlantic can add some more stress to your mind when it starts acting up.
Whoops!
It's incredible to experience the difference from storm to still. And the next morning, I was able to wake up to the calm side of this enormous ocean.
Good morning, and what a beautiful day. It's 8 knots on the side now, so we got a little wind in our mainsail. But the weather reports, the freshest one states that I'm gonna still have a lot of headwind when I get closer now. Let's get that headsail out to get some more speed.
The little gust of wind gave us that extra little push towards the islands. It's incredible how little it takes to get going.
Yeah, and if we get headwinds now, we're gonna have to tack towards the Faroe Islands, and then the generator bag needs to go down when it's back to its nest, because the sea will swipe it off deck if we are tilted over into the waves. Feels a lot better.
It was just to enjoy it for how long it may would last.
It's getting foggy outside again. Maybe that means weather change, I don't know. But let's eat some egg and bacon until we find out.
I scouted and prepared for that incoming low pressure. It seemed we might have a chance to beat it.
So none of the wind occurred. It's 20:08 now in the evening, and guess what I can see? Look at that. Faroe Islands without fog. Amazing. According to the weather reports, it should be like 20 to 25 knots on the nose now. So that would be a fresh one. But for some reason, it's completely wind quiet.
So we just ducked the incoming storm and could enter the Faroes in peace.
Right, so the time is 00:16, and we have 2 hours left before we start on the entrance to Vestmanna. And I think we will be when the strong current against us is on the way down. But I will actually take off some speed to make sure we don't get too early. We don't want to get caught in any tidal streams in the middle of the night. It's pitch black here, so can't see anything now. I think I've sprained my right ankle too now, so I did the left on my way from Greenland, and now I have bumped into a winch or something on deck. So both my ankles are hurting, but it's not too serious, but you just need to be a little bit careful when I walk around deck. Lots of foam around here. So we're now entering the sound into Vestmanna, and it's really dark, so the camera can't pick up any of the big beautiful mountains around there and the cliffs, but it looks really good even at night. But let's get inside, and it doesn't seem to be like it's any big currents here so far, But let's get inside and see how it is. I think we're good. Alright, so we are here. Look at this. Vestmanna. Wow. Alright, so that's Vestmanna on Faroe Islands. It was a long run due to the big swells out there, but once it calmed down and I didn't get the headwind that I feared, after that this was just all good. So now I'm gonna have a good night sleep of 3-4 hours, then I'm gonna get up and I will check out Vestmanna. Looking forward to it. Cool. Good night. Good morning. It's a stormy day. We just got in here 2 hours before the storm started. Up to 40 knots in the gusts there. So yeah. Wow. And this is going on for about 2 more days, I think. Then it will calm down. So I'm stuck here for a couple of days more. But it's a beautiful place, so no worries.
Tessie got buttoned up and secured for the big storm. On the Faroes west side, the storm was about to hit. A good indication of the present wind strength is seen in the waterfalls as they were blown back up by the gusts hitting the cliffsides. After a couple of days, it all calmed down, and the sun lit up the beautiful village. It was time to get to know this place a little better.
Taking a stroll through Vestmanna. Beautiful place.
Despite Vestmanna's remote and desert appearance, this is Faroe Islands' epicenter for production of hydroelectric power, delivering 50% of the island's need for electricity. Mountain rainwater flows through big pipes down the mountain hills. The water pressure speeds up huge turbines connected to generators, and electric power is created. Hydroelectric power plants are set up several places around the hillsides. But the most conspicuous one is the enormous water dam overlooking the village. It's currently dried out for maintenance, but the size of it reveals the vast amount of water which is accessible on the Faroe Islands. Exploiting the strong ocean tidal streams is another way of generating power. Like this invention designed to stay anchored and fly just beneath the ocean surface, with the currents spinning the propeller.
So with this windy little sequence from Vestmanna, I think I will end the video there. And thank you so much for all the beautiful support and all the nice messages and comments everywhere. I read every single one of them and I really enjoy it. So I will see you in the next video, sailing from Vestmanna to Torshavn. That's going to be a beautiful stretch. Stay tuned. All right.
Also, let me briefly remind you that my NBJS merchandise, badges and information about my lecture is now available on my website at nbjs.no. See you soon. Erik.